Folks, welcome back to The Ring Magazine presents the W.A.D.E Concept. I am once again in a different location. The job never stops. I'm down here at Most Valuable Prospects. You guys know I'm a commentator's commentator. I'm in Orlando, Florida, but as you know, the boxing world keeps on turning, and The Ring Magazine had another card tonight in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I went to Florida. HE and all of the big wigs went to Saudi Arabia and put on Canelo Alvarez versus William Scull. And right now, I'm pretty tired, and it could be because I've been flying all day. It's 1:17 a.m. local time, or it could be because Canelo Alvarez and William Scull, quite frankly, put on a snooze fest in said main event of the evening. It has been a very frustrating couple of days of boxing, and I think we need to talk about why, and also why hopefully what this was leading up to, and now is official, is why this won't continue to be a problem. But what do I mean? The breakdown, let's go. This was another one of these fights where, you know, Canelo brought the action, or at least brought the front foot aggressiveness to this fight, and William Scull reserved himself to boxing off the back foot and moving laterally. Now, we saw this yesterday, or I guess, yeah, 2 days ago now by the time you're seeing this video. Devin Haney did a lot of this to Jose Ramirez. Difference was, Canelo was able to land on William Scull, and Jose Ramirez just wasn't able to land on Devin Haney. And honestly, had Jose Ramirez landed as much as Canelo did in this fight, and again, it wasn't a lot over this Canelo-William Scull fight, Devin Haney, Jose Ramirez, and Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero, they are, I think, 3 of the top 5 least output punch fights in the history of 12-round boxing. I could be wrong about that stat, but someone is going to show me that it's not been great. Like, it's been very low output, very methodical boxing because of, again, a stylistic matchup, an idea or an approach to the fight as to, I'm just going to go in here and box slick or try to survive or be there to try to win a boxing match, not try to win a fight. We talked about that in my last video, and that's kind of what this looked like. William Scull, again, a lot of lateral movement, bigger guy too, a big, strong-looking guy for 168 pounds that I'm just shocked he didn't want to use more of his physical frame to try to put himself in positions to outmuscle Canelo or work his way in the clinch, and he just maybe wasn't confident there because Canelo is a great inside fighter. You don't want to put yourself in positions to not make it to the later parts of the fight, but it was simple. Scull was willing to move laterally, jab, not keep his feet set, occasionally would throw counter punches, and again, when he did throw counter punches, he had some success. And it just was like, why not go back and do that again? You're having some success, do it again. But it was just a lack of activity. And it wasn't just from William Scull, but on the other side, Canelo was not able to cut him off as much as he wanted to. Whereas Canelo is usually fantastic at cutting off of the ring, this was not a great Canelo performance. Like, yeah, he walked forward. Yes, he had great punches to the body when he let them loose, but it was one at a time as well. This was a left hook to the body and Scull would get out of the corner, or it was a right hook to the body and Scull would slide away on the ropes, or Canelo would just be trying to corral Scull and not able to do it because, again, he just wasn't able to cut the ring off. Scull had good lateral movement, but that is not what boxing is. And at the same point, it kind of is what boxing is. Like, it's not what I like when I watch boxing. It's not what I think people that want to watch a fight like watching. And yeah, sure, by the letter of the law, it is the sport of hitting and not being hit. But when you are not attempting to hit, or when you're not attempting to create damage and putting more of a preference on not being hit, then you get these kind of fights where on technicality, if you don't have someone as good as Canelo is, that even on one of his bad days that he still understands he needs to do something, then you're going to have fights go the way of a Devin Haney or sometimes the way of a William Scull, where you're having guys, you know, again, try to point fight and win on a style that you can't convince me anyone that even likes the sport likes watching for 12 rounds. It's just not a fun style to watch. But again, like I said with Devin Haney, he is who we thought he was, or if you knew anything about William Scull, it's kind of how he fights. So it is what it is. I'm glad we just got it out of the way, but again, you're seeing 3 of these fights that are just stinkers in the last 2 days. And again, I just go back to the UK fights, and I go back to that main event and the difference in a Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. fight where, yes, that style of fighting is not one that leads to a lot of longevity in the sport. And right, it's very easy for me to sit here and say that's the kind of fight I want as a fan. I want to watch that kind of fighting where fighters are actually fighting, where they are trying to get their opponent out of there, where they're trying to create damage, when they're trying to win a fight more than they're trying to win a boxing match based on a point system. But at the same time, fighters want to be around for a long time. And a style that allows you to do that is one that, Devin Haney employs, or a William Scull employs, or even in this fight for Canelo, because there was no damage coming back at him, a style he's employed for the last however many fights he's had. And again, I'm not saying it's Canelo like, oh, he's on the back foot letting people come to him, but he has taken a bit off the gas when it comes to finishing opponents, or it comes to being a combination puncher, or a guy that plants his feet and really throws his hands around. Again, you've seen parts of that from Canelo. You've seen bits and pieces of that, but not in the way where he would systematically break you down and then eventually he would look for that finish. That hasn't been the same Canelo since maybe the Caleb Plant fight, honestly. So yeah, I mean, this was, again, just a not great fight for Canelo, and definitely not a great fight for William Scull. But the entirety of the fight is Canelo walking Scull down and, trying to land pot shots here and there. Scull landing a jab, maybe a double jab, and a lot of lateral movement. I don't even care to try to go break down the X's and O's of this, other than to say there were moments where I thought Canelo got caught with things he shouldn't have been caught with. I didn't see a lot of volume from Canelo. I didn't see a lot of output. So the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm trying to give you an idea as to what I may see next, because when Canelo eventually won this thing, and it wasn't a close fight to me, I know that there are going to be people that say, well, one judge had it 115, 113. And to that, I'm going to say, again, okay, sure, call it a close fight if you want. I didn't see William Scull wanting to fight. I didn't see it. I didn't see him wanting to do anything anywhere close to damaging to Canelo, where I saw Canelo at least attempting to damage William Scull and having a power punch that landed that looked like an actual power punch. But I'm giving you these details because I look toward Canelo's next fight. As he wins this, he becomes undisputed for the second time, which is an accolade that, again, people will look back at and go, wow, Canelo was 2 times undisputed. And it should mean something, especially in the super middleweight division where he's the first 4-belt undisputed champion. But did we need this fight? I know why we need it, because as the fight ended, Canelo's in the ring, and here comes Terrence Crawford. That's right. Bud Crawford steps into the ring, a fight that I am down to watch. Is it David Benavidez Canelo? No. Is it Bud Crawford and Jaron Boots Ennis? No. But I want to see those two fights separately more? Yeah, probably. And just if we're going to be honest about this whole thing, watching Canelo and William Scull fight, I would rather have seen Canelo fight Jake Paul. I'm just going to be honest. That would have been more entertaining to me. And I told you guys this when it was rumored, and everybody called me the clown. But anyway, we get a fight that I think most of us will say, you know what? I want to see that. And I do. I am down to see Canelo and Bud Crawford for a couple of reasons. Number one, as much as I previously thought the size would be a big factor, I'm looking at them standing face to face in this face-off in Saudi Arabia, and I'm going, oh shit, Bud's not the small guy in there. That's Canelo. And for the people that go, yeah, Wade, well, that's just the height. Spoiler alert, I have an interview coming out this week with Bud Crawford, and I asked him about his weight in said interview. And I got to shake hands with the man, and I saw up close and personal that the weight, I don't think, is much different. And Bud might weigh more potentially than Canelo does, just walking around weight. So this narrative that Canelo's the bigger man, the stronger man, I'm not so sure about. At least not right now. So there are some variables here. And then I talk about the fight, as much as this was not a great fight, there were moments where William Scull, as a counterpuncher, was able to land on Canelo, and it didn't do anything. It didn't hurt him. It didn't really get Canelo's respect at all, because there wasn't a ton of power behind it. Scull wouldn't plant his feet and sit down on anything, but Terrence Crawford will. And yes, I remember the Madrimov fight, and that one was not a great matchup for Terrence either. But when I look at Canelo now, and I look at how he is reserved to fighting, or how he's reserved himself to fighting, I see a guy that does have some open. Does that mean Terrence Crawford just up and beats him? No, I'm not going that far. As a matter of fact, I don't really know how to look at that fight yet. But it's going down September 19th, Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas, and I'm pumped for that. Why? Because it's a fight that matters to me. Not because the belts are on the line, and I know the belts are a big thing. Ring Magazine belt, Lineal belt, they got a brand new one. All the major bodies, I get all that, but it's never been about the belts to me. It's about the best fighting the best. And again, David Benavidez, I would love that. Boots Ennis and Crawford, I would love that. But at least this is a version of the best fighting the best. And that's all, as boxing fans, as combat sports fans, that's all I think we want, is the best fighting the best. Not the sanctioning body's best fighting this sanctioning body's best, because it doesn't matter. Did anyone consider William Scull a top 168 pounder before the IBF gave him a belt? Oh. And there's too many instances of that, in my opinion. So in a 2 days full of boxing like meh, where we have Devin Haney skate by, Ryan Garcia completely disappoint, look like a ghost, and lose. Rolly Romero step up to the plate and do what he was supposed to do. Shout out to him. Teofimo Lopez look like a guy that wants to go out and compete, wants to go out and win, wants to go out and create some legacy for himself. Canelo doing what he has to do, I guess. I want to see someone in the sport of boxing create legacy. I want to see someone approach a fight like Chris Eubank Jr. did. I want to see someone approach a fight like Conor Benn did, like Terrence Bud Crawford does, like Joseph Parker, like Alexander Usyk, like Daniel Dubois, like Anthony Joshua, for Christ's sake. Yeah, okay, it doesn't go their way all the time, but I don't write people off for that. I am excited to see the next Anthony Joshua fight. Win, lose, or draw, couldn't give a fuck. But when you just go in to either survive or outpoint a boxing match, I'm telling you now, not only most of the time will you end up losing the fight, but you end up losing the fan base. You end up losing what makes boxing great. It's an entertainment sport because fighters go in and lay it all on the line. Like, fighters don't have to do that for me. I'm not like, go and put yourself out there for me, but do it for you. Do it for these opportunities that you're seeing right now. Boxing right now is on a hot streak when it comes to the events, the matchmaking, the things that going into a fight, the hype going into a fight is unmatched. But it is on our fighters to then go and give the same level of I don't know, want to that hype to then create these historic moments again, like we got a week ago and like we didn't get yesterday and today. September 19th, Canelo takes on Bud Crawford. I'm expecting that to be a barn burner, and I don't want to be someone that overhypes it. I don't want to be someone that just builds and builds and builds this thing to it being a complete stinker. I don't think that's going to be the case, but I can't control that, is what I'm saying, I guess. Because when you give me 2 pound for pound top 5 people in the same ring around the same weight, it shouldn't be an overhyped job. All it really should be is a delivery of what the fans are excited for, which is a high level fight from 2 fighters that want to win a fight, not just a sporting match. I think there's a difference there that especially American boxing right now has a real struggle with. That's where I'm at. Canelo William Scull, I would say was a lackluster fight. And I think Canelo would say the same. I think anybody that watched that would say the same. What happens next? We get Canelo, Bud Crawford, William Scull. I think wasted an opportunity for himself there. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I just think that's what happened. And if you guys want to know more about what happens with Canelo, with Bud Crawford, tune in this week, probably 2 days from now, and you'll hear me talk to the man himself, Terrence Bud Crawford, in a sit-down interview live for the ring. Thanks for watching, and yeah, as far as the boxing world is concerned, we need fighters that want to fight. Who am I talking about, and when's that going to happen? Hopefully soon, but I don't have those answers, so guess we'll find out.